Now I'll be reading from the rest of the slides from this assignment. It's slides 7 through 11. So I will start on slide 7, which is entitled Earth Interacts. It may seem like Earth is always changing, and it is. But many of these changes form patterns, which means the changes repeat over and over again. In fact, there are patterns all around us. Take the tides, for example. If you build a sandcastle and leave it on the beach, it will most likely be gone by the morning. Why? This happens because of high and low tides. High tide means that the water comes up higher on the land. Low tide means that the water flows back out. High tide and low tide each happen twice in a 24-hour period. So, when the tide is high, water will cover up the parts of the beach where you may have built a sandcastle during the low tide. High and low tides are caused by the position of the moon. Sure, the moon is over 200,000 miles away, but it is so large that its gravity affects the water on Earth. The pull of the moon's gravity is strongest when the moon is more directly facing our part of Earth. That is when high tide occurs. When the moon is not facing our part of Earth, its pull is not as strong, and that is when low tide occurs. You can observe another pattern by looking at the moon itself. The way the moon looks changes from night to night. Sometimes you see a full moon, and sometimes you see a half moon. Sometimes the moon is not visible at all. It all depends on the positions of the sun, Earth, and the moon. But the phases of the moon, shapes of the moon that we see from Earth, are always predictable. They happen in the same order over and over again. We see these phases because only one half of the moon's surface is facing the sun at any given time. At different times of the month, we can see different parts of the moon's lit surface because of where we are positioned in the Earth-Sun-Moon system. The seasons are another pattern caused by the positions of the Earth and the Sun. Earth is tilted and travels in an orbit around the Sun. Our summer occurs when Earth's northern hemisphere is tilted toward the Sun as it moves along its orbit. During this time, the northern hemisphere receives stronger, more concentrated rays from the Sun, which causes the warmer temperatures during the summer. In winter, temperatures are colder because the northern hemisphere points away from the sun and receives less direct heat from the sun. This means that during our winter, the southern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, so they are having their summer. Yes, Earth may always be changing, but we can predict many of these changes because they happen in the same way over and over again. On the next slide, we see some questions. Number 1 says, what is the best summary of this passage? A, the moon phases are caused by the positions of the sun, Earth, and moon. B, tides are caused by the position of the moon. C, seasons are caused by the positions of the sun and earth. Or D, many patterns are caused by the positions of objects in the solar system. Number 2, if you build a sandcastle and it disappears, it's probably because A, kids knocked it over in the night. B, low tide made the water level go down. C, high tide raised the water level. Or D, the positions of the earth, the sun, and the moon caused a change in the moon phases. 3, what is the best synonym for the word position in the 5th paragraph? A, placement, B, orbit, C, phase, or D, shadow? And the next one, question number 1 says, what is something that might happen at low tide? A, things on the beach will be washed away. B, people who are not careful might get trapped by rising water. C, the moon's gravity will cause the water to rise. Or D, you can walk on the beach in places that were underwater earlier in the day. Number 2, what is an example of another pattern in nature that is caused by the positions of objects in the solar system? A, the petals of a flower. B, zebra stripes. C, day and night. Or D, a bee's honeycomb. On the following slide, there's open-ended response questions. Number 1 says, when you walk outside in the morning, you notice a shadow on the ground from a tree in your yard. When you get home in the afternoon, you notice the shadow is in a different place. Why did the shadow move? Number 2, does everyone on Earth experience night at the same time? Why or why not? And number 3, if Earth rotated at a greater speed on its axis, what would happen to the length of each day on Earth? That's it. I hope that was helpful. Good luck.